guys, and welcome to the pull list section of this week's Coffee and Hero Show. Just going to take you through everything that's on my pull list this week, which pretty much contains nearly every new release that comes out. I just can't help myself sometimes, so just going to guide you through everything I've got, all the DC titles out this week, all the Marvel titles, and all the indie titles. So this is basically to give you a little preview of what I'm reading every week. So kick things off with DC. We have the next issue of The Flash. We're now at issue 771. This is written by Jeremy Adams, art by Kevin Maguire. This consistently gets explained as The Flash meets Quantum Leap, and that is perfect. You have The Flash jumping from different time zones, meeting different characters along the way. It's just a heck of a lot of fun, The Flash at the moment. Really good one to jump onto. We have the next issue of Legends of the Dark Knight. So this is the Batman imprint. Wouldn't be a release week without a new issue of Batman in some capacity. So this is the one that's written and drawn by Derek Robertson. This is going to be a 3-issue story, and then it'll move on to a different creator after that. But big Joker story with this one, very classic looking art. Love the first issue, so look forward to tucking into that. As ever, any new week that has new Nightwing is a good week. We're up to issue 81. It's hard to believe this issue's 4 issues deep already. This run's 4 issues deep. So this is by Tom Taylor, art by Bruno Redondo. I've managed to avoid the internet. Apparently there are big spoilers out for this issue. I've managed to avoid it, but they're big spoilers when even Tom Taylor comes out and says, try and avoid the internet, guys. He was talking a lot about how it can be frustrating as a creator when you put a lot of effort into something and planning and writing and production, and someone spoils it a couple of days before it comes out. So apparently there's big revelations in this one, so that'll go top of the pile for me this week. But not far below it will be this one, which is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Not normally a character I'm massively interested in, to be honest, but when it has Tom King's name on it as writer and Bill Quay-Evely as artist, I am on this. It's going to be an 8-issue miniseries. I always say Tom King works best when he's doing these maxi series, as he's got a defined endpoint, and some of the preview art pages from this are glorious, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. Next up, we have Superman Red and Blue, so we're reaching issue 4 of this. I definitely stand by my claims that this is consistently the best anthology title on the shelves. I say that even though there's Batman Black and White, and I say that even though there's Carnage Black, White and Blood. There's a new one coming out next week, I believe, which is Wonder Woman Black and Gold as well. But it'll have to go some way to beat this. Every issue, I think, of this has been a revelation so far. Maybe I just like Superman titles in small doses, whereas with Batman titles, it's like, gimme. Next up, we have Truth and Justice. So we're up to issue 5 of this one. So again, this is an anthology line where every issue is focused on a different character, has a different creative team. And this one looks like it's going to be focused on Kate Kane, aka Batwoman. So that's the DC stuff. On to the Marvel. So first up, we have the next installment of Alien. So we're up to number 4 of this. Philip Kennedy Johnson, Salvador LaRocca are doing brilliant work with this. Keith and I just recorded a reviews podcast. We did a big deep dive into issue 3 of this specifically. And he noted something really interesting, that the first 2 issues of Alien really felt like the first movie. It was very slow build, very atmospheric, very tense. And then issue 3, pardon my French, the shit hits the fan. And it becomes very action oriented, so it's almost like Aliens. So looking forward to hopefully that continuing more of the same. Next up for me is Demon Days Mariko. So these are essentially one-shots. They're almost reinterpretations of classic characters from Marvel lore. And this is by Peach Momoko. Now, Peach Momoko is someone who, has become a little bit of a byline for just how many covers she does. But her interior art, certainly in the first issue of this, which was Demon Days X-Men, was fantastic. It was a real revelation for me. Loved that issue. And she's basically writing and drawing all of these one-shots. I think they're due every 2 months. Might be every 3 months, though. Might just have to double check that. But this is the latest one-shot installment, so very much looking forward to that. Vicky stuff always gets in here at some point, I always have to pull it out. So we have the next installment of Star Wars. We're up to issue 14. So, of course, we're in the War of the Bounty Hunter stuff at this point. So these are all the tie-in issues to that main event. No doubting what the biggest title is this week, which is Venom, issue 200/issue 35. So it's issue 35 of Donny Cates and Rand Stegman's run, but it also coincides with being issue 200 in terms of legacy numbering. So big, massive, thick bad boys, square bound. This is the very end of their run, so expect some big stuff from this. And then I know that Donny Cates is leaving Venom. It's going to be taken over then by Ram V and Al Ewing. And Donny Cates is going over to do Hulk. So expect to see more news on that in the coming months when those hit the previews books. But as usual, as you can see, if I just line them up side by side here, there's DC and Marvel combined, and there is Indie. It's not hard to see where my heart lies these days. First up, we have Black Friday. So this is issue 3. This is a Black Caravan title. And this is written by John Clark, art by Travis Williamson. Very small press publisher, this one. But Black Friday is basically all about the evil that lurks below a massive department store that only gets unleashed on Black Friday when the worst of humanity is out in force. Quite a timely title and a lot of fun. Dark horror, right up my alley. Next up, we have the next issue of Berserker this week. So we're up to issue 3. Kenny Reeves and Matt Kent on writing duties. Ron Garney on art. I must admit, I really enjoyed issue 1. I still haven't read issue 2, so I'll probably do issue 2 and 3 back to back on that. Another title I'm really enjoying, which is through Image Comics. This is a title called Home. So we're up to issue 3 of this. This is essentially a story all about people trying to cross the border into America, but being stopped, separated from their kids. Again, very timely, but where this becomes its own thing is the child who gets separated from the mother starts to develop superpowers. So it's quite a serious tale told in a heightened reality way. First 2 issues of that have been great. Next up, we have a new Jupiter's Legacy title. So this is a double-sized number 1. So Jupiter's Legacy was conceived by Mark Miller. Even if you've never read the comics, you may have seen the show that's been on Netflix recently. The artist on this one is Tommy Lee Edwards, and this is a new run called just Jupiter's Legacy Requiem. I believe it's going to go for 12 issues, which is longer than any previous Jupiter's Legacy run, which has always been a 6-issue miniseries. If you can see some of these covers based on the reflections. So we're up to issue 3 of The Many Deaths of Lila Starr. Again, another one of our favorite titles. We promote it heavily. We're chatting about it in the podcast all the time. We're recommending it in the store. So this is from Ram V and Felipe Andrade. And again, one of the best indie titles on the shelf. It is only going to be 5 issues. So if you are more of a trade waiter, you won't have to wait too long for that. Just a couple more issues to go. Oh, definitely one of my most anticipated titles this week. How good was Radiant Black issue 4? That was one of the best indie titles I have read in years, and the swerve they took with the story in issue 4 was incredible. Came out of nowhere, just like a Randy Orton RKO, out of nowhere. Really looking forward to issue 5 of this, and again, that'll be close to the top of the pile. I continue to collect all of the AWA titles, so we're up to issue 3 of J. Michael Straczynski's The Resistance, Uprising. So again, these tend to be in 6-issue story arcs, and this is very much AWA's superhero universe. The next one's an interesting one because it's a title called Save Yourself. Now, I'll always order any number 1s in for the store, whether they're from Boom or Image or whatever, you know. I think we're always happy to give number 1s a go, and they tend to go off the shelf quicker than a number 2 or 3 will do. So I had a few copies of this ordered, no one with it on pre-orders. And then I start pulling all the issues out of the box for the week. Suddenly there's 4 issues of it, and there's 5. Suddenly there's 10, suddenly there's 15. Diamond, in their eternal wisdom, because let's be honest, there has to be something every single week, decided to send me 25 copies of this instead of my 25 copies of 7 Secrets. So if you're on 7 Secrets, I apologize in advance. We don't have them yet. They did tell me they've been posted out today, which is Tuesday, and that they should be here before the end of the week. But I'll believe it when I see it. It'll probably be in next week's delivery. Despite that, I will give this a go because, again, any number 1 I'll always give a go. So this is written by Bones Leopard and art by Kelly and Nicole Matthews. So don't know an awful lot about it, but I'll always give it a go. Next up, we have an Aftershock title, issue 2 of Silver City. Really, really dug issue 1 of this. This is written by Olivier Quarto-Briggs and art by Luca Merli. And this was really good sort of dark fantasy stuff. Really, really enjoyed the first issue of that. Another one going very high up the pile is The Silver Coin. So this is a brilliant horror anthology. Every issue has a new writer, has the same artist every time, but every issue is essentially a one-shot, which in itself is just a brilliant format. Always the same artist with Michael Walsh, but a different writer. So this one is Ed Brisson, and we're up to issue 3 of this. Originally slated as a 5-issue miniseries, this is now an ongoing, so fantastic. Next issue up of Stillwater. So this is the Chip Zdarsky, Ramon K. Perez tale of a town where you don't age, you don't die, unless you leave the city limits. It took a really great turn with issue 6. I was wondering where the story was going to go, and They introduced a military component to it in issue 6 that really changed up the direction the story was heading in, and I'm really enjoying that. Last couple there just to go on then. So we have Time Before Time. We're hitting issue 2 of this. Declan Shelvey and Roy McConville, co-writers on this, and Joe Palmer on art. And Declan Shelvey doing the covers for it because he needs to scratch that creative itch somehow. So yeah, Looper meets Saga. First issue was great. Bring on issue 2. 2 more to finish off with. We have Ultra Mega, which continues to be this amazingly brilliant kaiju story released through Image Comics. Always oversized issues. This is both written and drawn by James Harron, and he has Dave Stewart on as colorist, which I think is always worth mentioning because the colors on this title are superb. So 4 issues deep. This hasn't missed a release date. It's always oversized. The art is beautiful. There's great world building, and just one of Image's best titles at the moment. And I started off my, what arrived in this week, graphic novels, etc. with The Walking Dead, and I finished my pull list with The Walking Dead. So we're up to issue 17 now of The Walking Dead Deluxe. I'm digging these new covers every time, and I'm just really enjoying jumping back into the world of The Walking Dead. It's such a great format to read it every couple of weeks instead of once a month, or always having to read trades. I think you just get the right amount of it every 2 weeks. Some behind the scenes material as well, which is always great, and always the old letters pages from the original issues as well. So Walking Dead Deluxe at number 17. So there you have it. That is my pull list for this week. How many are on your pull list? These will be released on the 16th, this new comic book day, this Wednesday. So all pull lists are ready in store, ready for collection. All new releases will be going on the racks, and a certain amount of them on the website as well. So do check that out, and I look forward to seeing you guys in store soon. So hope you're staying safe out there, and take it easy.